On December 8th of 2017, CBC released a 45-minute episode from the Fifth Estate which examined gambling addiction in Canada. This episode persuaded me to research the topic, and so today I'll present you with some more recent information on how gambling in Canada has changed since the 2017 report. Further, I'll communicate how problem gamblers in Canada are still struggling with their addiction despite the tools provided to stop it. According to the Canadian Centre for Addictions, in 2019, approximately 1 to 2% of the population are having a gambling addiction, also known as problem gamblers. As stated by CBC, in 2017, the OLG made $7.5 billion in gross revenue. In comparison with 2020, OLG's revenue fell to 4.3 in accordance with Statistica. Nevertheless, the Ontario government has since made much more money in contrast to its beginning as Ontario in 1975, where they made a $43 million profit in its first year of operation. Let me talk a little more about the Fifth Estate gambling episode from CBC before I switch gears. There's a man by the name of Joe Frieri, and he says he has lost millions gambling in casinos, but yet there was no one there to stop him. He even signed up for a self-exclusion program in which you ban yourself from the OLG casinos. What's supposed to happen is that once this form is signed, the OLG is supposed to keep the person out of the property. In the CBC interview, OLG stated that they use facial recognition cameras to spot the self-excluded individuals. Therefore, if a person on the self-excluded list is recognized as being the premise, they will be forced to leave. Sounds good, right? Guess again. Frieri constantly goes back to the casinos and is never recognized or guided out of the premises. If you are interested in learning more about the flaws of the facial recognition cameras, please watch Frieri's episode and observe how CBC exposes how faulty the self-exclusion program really is. It is not just Frieri that can get hooked on casinos and OLG online games. I did my very own not-so-scientific research and signed up for the OLG through my phone. Right at home, half asleep, and like any company, they asked for my credit card information. Cool, I give it to them. And I signed in, put my info, and I put a minimum balance of $15 on my OLG account. But wait, there's more. They gave me a $15 sign-up bonus just for signing up. That was nice of them. I mean, who's gonna reject free money? Nobody. And that's the catch that the Canadian Centre for Addictions highlights a warning from psychologist Mark Griffiths from Nottingham Trent University. Griffiths says that even when you're losing money while gambling, your body is still producing adrenaline and endorphins. In a survey of 5,500 gamblers, the prospect of the chance to win big money was the strongest factor. Basically, the free money or any other casino tactic is meant to get you to spend more money, which will eventually benefit the casino. And statistically speaking, guys, the casino will always win. Further, I found some more research from the University of Waterloo that explains the addictive world of gambling. In 2020, the researchers concluded that after accessing 111 gamblers for mindfulness, gambling problems, depressive symptoms, and boredom proneness, they found that some individuals will enter the slot machine zone. This is a psychological condition where individuals are completely immersed into the slot machine, and where they forget or exclude everything else from perspective. Remember the casino scene from Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the lightning thief, where Percy and his friends eat the flour and they forget what they're doing at the casino? Well, I imagine it's like that. Well, maybe. At least that's how I imagine it. Anyway, that's not all, guys. There's one more research that I found of relevance, and I promise this is the last one. An article based on a peer-reviewed research on February 19th of this year from the University of Lethbridge found this out, that electronic gambling machines participation to be the primary predictor of problem gambling status. So that is, gambling in a machine or electronic device is more likely to be captivating in comparison to, let's say, a horse race. And when CBC investigated these electronic devices, they found that there are many subliminal factors in which the casino can build their games around. Something that's harder to accomplish in again, a horse race. Upon realizing this, I'm hoping that the Canadian government is committed to researching all the consequences of approving Bill C-218 and Bill C-13. If you don't know, these bills were approved at the second reading in Parliament, and if they get approval for the third reading, then the provinces and territories will be able to regulate single event sports gambling. Which means, for example, you will finally be able to bet on a Lakers versus Celtics game over your phone on a Canadian platform. Now, I'm not opposed and I'm not supporting this bill. I'm just suggesting that the Canadian government take a deep look at the implications of approving this bill. There are positive sides to the acceptance of the law. For example, Michael Krem, an MP for Regina, says that one of the most persuasive arguments in favor of Bill C-218 is the good that can be done if the $14 billion in revenue generated every year in Canada by single-game sports betting were redirected from underground offshore entities to lawful entities and distributions in Canada. So yeah, Canada will get more jobs and tax money from supporting this bill. It is good to note that the OLG spends $50 million a year on research and help centers for problem gamblers. And in my opinion, the Canadian government will have to make it mandatory for any corporation that regulates single-event sports gambling, to raise awareness and to implement help centers for any individuals that suffer from addiction. If you think about it, in 2016, the OLG spent $333 million in promoting their business and made $4.3 billion in revenue in 2020. I believe that it only makes sense that any corporation that takes a cut from the expected $14 billion in revenue from single-game sports betting should contribute to the $50 million a year funding for research. Said differently, everyone, I don't think it would make sense for this number to stay the same. Thank you so much for watching. That's the end of the video. If you're interested, check out the CBC video from 2017 on the link below. And please, everyone, if anybody spots inconsistencies on wrongful information on my videos, please let me know. I'm always looking forward to improve my videos, and I want to only share materials that is accurate. Just a heads up that all my sources and credits are listed on the description box on my YouTube page for any of you that are wondering. Thank you so much. Have a good one.